This Frank Edoho and Chike situation has touched me in a way that I'm not seeing anybody talk about anywhere on the internet. Like, what does a man have to do to avoid the shame that comes with your woman sleeping with somebody else? How much money do you have to make? How much fame? How much smartness or sense do you have to have? The idea of a relationship between men and women is very strange. Like, where do you draw the goalpost for your attraction? Where do you draw the goalpost for who you wouldn't sleep with? You know? A lot of people are free spirits. Is that life? Me too, I consider myself somewhat free spirit. I am spontaneous. I can do what I'm thinking. I like to do things that are out of the ordinary. I don't want to buy what everybody else is buying. I want to explore the uncharted territory. People like that seem to be much more open to what the world would call weird stuff. But when it comes to sexual relations between men and women, ethically, morally, where is the line supposed to be drawn? Flavor tweeted something about if anything makes you go sleep with someone else's wife. Boy, your life has spoiled. And I believe it's true. Earlier, there's this Good Living podcast episode that I was talking about like what different schools of thought believe happens after we die. And I referenced a boat driver that I met one time I was coming back from an audition. And now he taught me certain things about Igbo culture and core beliefs. And he said in Igbo culture, there are just 3 things that men should not do when you come on this earth to guarantee yourself a favorable afterlife. He's like, screw the 10 commandments. I'm paraphrasing. Like all this other stuff, nothing is a sin in this earth as long as you don't violate these 3 things. 1, don't shed cold blood. You know, unless somebody is trying to kill you, don't kill anybody. Don't shed innocent blood. That's 1. 2, don't be dishonest. Don't cheat anybody in business. Be transparent in your dealings. Don't be crafty, cunning, you know. And final 1, don't sleep with another man's woman. Wife, consecrated. I don't know why I'm emphasizing on it like that. But these 3 things. And if you live like this, but then you can now stack other things on top. Like over time you live and you realize, like I've lived and I've realized that there is a high likelihood that things will unfold for you likely if you do not lie. I'm trying to quote Jordan Peterson. But where should the line be drawn? Chike as an Igbo man, maybe he doesn't know this stuff. Maybe Konji gets to a level where he just hits you. For example, you're going. Me that I'm talking like this. Anyway, it's not everything that we'll say on the podcast. But I've not done anything with any married woman. I've not slept with any married woman. But I understand how it can get if you let yourself get into that level of temptation. Married woman doesn't necessarily mean she looks like the typical, out of shape, 10 years in marriage, married woman. No. It could be easily any hot chick. You just don't know that she's married to somebody. And then you let things go on for a while. And then, there are certain people that I could be attracted to that I have not been. And I don't know where, nobody taught me that. I think that one developed naturally from my conscience. Nobody taught me that idea. 1 is girlfriends of my friend. If I consider a G, my guy, his woman, or any woman I see, like his woman is almost like now blank, or let me just say a sister to me. Basically, like biologically, it goes that way. I don't think I could be seduced by them because you're my guy's babe. But growing older now, I'm just realizing, like, it's not a big deal. Everybody in a human being, they find the chick hot, she's hot. So what do you want them to do? So I just figured that was just different. They had a different orientation from me.
Hey guys, this is Shiri from Good Living Social Media, and we have a favor to ask of you. We post your comments on our Instagram every Saturday. We want to encourage you to leave your thoughts on every episode via any convenient channel for you. That way, listeners can tell what fellow listeners think about a topic. Bye.
But generally, actions have consequences. Even if you believe that there is some spiritual punishment that comes from sleeping with somebody else's wife, it doesn't matter except for the consequence that the human beings involved decide is going to happen. It doesn't matter if Amadioha strikes men who sleep with people's wives and is going to strike Chike. It doesn't matter if Chike believes in that. But what will the aggrieved Frank Edoho do? You know, that's the consequence of Chike's action, as far as I'm concerned, in this realm that we are in. It may have been orchestrated and designed from the spiritual already, but it will manifest in the hands of the people involved. And so I try to align my actions with the consequences that I would prefer. And so I know that things will unfold for me nicely if I don't sleep with somebody's wife. And so I'll just try to avoid it as much as possible. Thankfully, before having the realization that I really shouldn't ever do that, I already kind of was averse to it, even though I'd been tempted once. Yeah, that time I was kind of slightly averse, but you know now, you can have a stance until it is tested. So it was tested. In fact, I can't really say it was just me that pulled out of it. It was circumstances that pulled us apart, you know. So it's almost like fate saved me from committing at that point. Fate saved me. And then eventually I began to build my core values and my structure properly, and then I had to fence some things out and block some things and say, no, this is, you can't do that. I don't know if this thing is a myth. I often believe that if a man is a player, like you're good with men, you know your way around that whole side of things. You have the highest tendency to actually pick a good wife and pick a good woman that will be good for you and your children and all of that. Me, I believe it's true. But when I still see men that I think should have game and should know wagwan, still end up with women that shoot them shaggy like this, it scares me. Like, it means whatever I think I know, whatever I think I'm trying to avoid, I might still be wrong. Because this guy is wrong. A whole Frank Edoho that has seen everything, women have thrown themselves at him in this life. He has seen them, read them. He's a smart guy, so he can deduce one or two behaviors and know wagwan. How did he still fall for somebody that could do this kind of thing to him? That now perplexes me. So now who am I? Do you know what I'm saying? And then there's the one side of me talking at me, telling me, look, this one woman, this one man, one woman something is actually a foreign idea. It's actually, if you look far back enough into your ancestry as an African person, you will find one of your ancestors that had many wives. For some of you, it's just your fathers here, self. For some of you, it's your grandpas that had multiple wives. For some of you, it's your great-grandpas. For me, it's my great-grandpa. And so, the system of one man, one wife that can often bring this embarrassment to men was foreign. And as a man, I'm very inclined. As a man, I'm very inclined now to be biased and think, are you sure that the old way is not better? Because personally, it was serving the men better. If I can afford to marry multiple women and I have all these legitimate legal options of women that I have chosen and selected for myself, there's a less likelihood of me suffering an embarrassment similar to what Frank Edoho has suffered. But in the modern world, how do you navigate that without too much backlash? Which women would want to suffer the backlash of feminists online for being part of a convoy of wives? But I know that will probably guarantee me. Imagine one of your wives cheats on you, just cut off immediately and still have like 4 wives. The society won't punish you. Like, you won't feel embarrassed and things like that. And that's what people want. I know, at least that's how I prefer my own life to unfold. Because if I want to do the thing with one woman, there's all this, like putting all your eggs in one basket and you're reputation. I'm not even ready for marriage. I'm not even looking for a wife. But I'm already looking with the way that I feel like I'm selecting. Like, who would I marry? Who would I not marry? I don't even know if I've met a woman worthy of marriage in my life before. Like, but when I'm looking at it now, with the standards in my head, amongst the girls I've dated or messed with, like, I'm like, is there anybody I feel like, okay, I fumbled that one? If I could take by the answer, I probably would have married that one. Nobody in my life like that. So I'm like thinking, okay, when that time comes to marry, where am I looking? Where am I gonna find the right thing? You know? So it's troubling. And then even if I say, okay, oh, I found one. Oh my God, so diamond in the rough. I finally found you. And then within 10 years, or even a shorter time period, the same thing I was trying to avoid by being so fucking selective hits me. And that's life teaching you a fucking lesson. Oh, that's crazy, man. So let's just close this episode. But there is nothing that I have to tell you. I'm leaving with 2 questions because I really want to know what you think. What's happening in your culture for sleeping with a married woman? What happens? What's the consequence for that in your culture according to your traditional beliefs? And also, what way can men really, really select and choose women that will not embarrass them by sleeping with other men while they're married to them? Especially men who have built something where their reputation is important. How can they guarantee cushioning that damage of if one of their wives have an affair? You know, aside having multiple wives or multiple women. That is the only thing that is in my head now. And I'm open to correction and other points of view. So let me know.